been a stunning development on Capitol Hill as Republican Representative Matt Gaetz has made a bold move to oust fellow Republican Kevin McCarthy as Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives. This move has injected an additional element of chaos into an already tumultuous Congress. It's a political bombshell, as Representative Matt Gaetz, a far-right Republican known for his controversial stances, introduced a motion to vacate aimed at forcing a vote to remove McCarthy as Speaker of the House. In an impromptu press conference following his move on the House floor, Gaetz acknowledged that this effort might not succeed in the first attempt. He said, "I think that is the likely outcome." However, he left open the possibility of repeated attempts, predicting that support for ousting McCarthy could grow beyond the initial vote. So why is this happening? Some Republicans have threatened to oust McCarthy over relying on Democratic votes, as he did on Saturday, to advance legislation staving off a government shutdown. Gaetz also cited the possibility of the House holding votes on sending aid to Ukraine as another reason to oust him. Gaetz further said members of the Republican Party might vote differently on a motion to vacate if they heard what the Speaker had to share with us about his secret side deal with Joe Biden on Ukraine. "I will be listening. Stay tuned," he said. Now, in his Sunday remarks responding to the thwarted government shutdown, President Biden called on McCarthy and other Republican leaders to follow through on a commitment to hold a standalone vote on funding for Ukraine. Biden said, "We cannot, under any circumstance, allow American support for Ukraine to be interrupted." When asked about his preferred replacement for McCarthy, Matt Gaetz said, "I think very highly of Steve Scalise. I would vote for Steve Scalise." Now, Steve Scalise currently serves as House Majority Leader, the second highest ranking position in the chamber. Remember, Republicans control the House by a narrow 221 to 212 majority, which means that just a handful of defections could threaten McCarthy's grip on power if all Democrats vote against him. Kevin McCarthy has responded to Gaetz' challenge by calling it disruptive, and he appears confident that he will survive this challenge. He said, "Bring it on." This isn't the first time that McCarthy has faced opposition within his own party. He secured the speakership of the House after 15 rounds of voting in January this year. And as part of that victory, he agreed to a rule change that allowed any member to call for a vote to remove the Speaker, setting the stage for Gaetz' recent move. No U.S. House Speaker has ever been removed from this powerful position, which is second in line in succession for the presidency after the Vice President. Now, regarding how Democrats may respond to this challenge, it remains uncertain. Some House Democrats have expressed reservations about supporting McCarthy due to a lack of trust, particularly after he reneged on a debt limit deal with President Biden and initiated an impeachment inquiry against Biden despite a lack of concrete evidence of wrongdoing. Democrats are also upset that McCarthy provided little time to review the stopgap spending bill before Saturday's vote, even though he needed their support. This leaves open the possibility that Democrats could demand concessions from McCarthy in exchange for their support, or they could potentially join right-wing Republicans in their efforts to unseat him. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has said, "What we are seeing with House Republicans is pure chaos." Let's find out what Shri thinks about this. Shri, why is the House Speaker in so much trouble with his own partymen? What are the chances that he could actually become the first U.S. House Speaker in history to be ousted from office? And also, is this a huge dilemma for the Democrats? Which way are they likely to vote if it were to come to that?
So why is he facing this problem, Neha? The answer is very clear. I mean, this is because of, the government funding. The Republicans wanted Democrats to be brought to their heels before to their knees before they would allow the government funding to continue. Otherwise, the U.S. was looking at a government shutdown. So, before the deadline expired, they managed to, in the last hours, get an interim bill which would keep the government running and all the federal employees in their job. So that was the reason, and he did so, Mr. McCarthy did so with the support of Democrats, because the Republicans were very against that. So the very fact that he managed to do it, pushed it through to prevent a government shutdown, has upset members of his own party. So that is a reason. Number two, now what can Mr. McCarthy do? Will he become the first speaker to be, voted out and ejected from the House? Well, the first thing Mr. McCarthy do is, he needs the support of Democratic Party. He needs members from the Democratic Party to vote with him, vote against Mr. Gaetz's proposal, motion, and he needs to survive this. So without Democratic support, he's not going to survive, Neha. That is very, very clear. So what can potentially happen? Now, there are three scenarios. One, when this motion is put to vote, the Democrats could either, vote no, which would, as you said, could be a little embarrassing for them, given that they are supposed to be anti-Republicans all the time and oppose them no matter what they say. So that is one option where they vote no. Second is they can be in the House but not vote anything, which is basically register their presence, which means that the number of votes which is required for the threshold will come down, or therefore McCarthy may survive. Number three, they can not be present. The Democrats can choose to walk out and not be present when this motion is put to vote. So again, that will reduce the number, make sure that the number is below the threshold, and again, it will invalidate the vote. So these are three things he can do, or he could potentially refer this to a committee, of his allies, basically people who support him, and then the committee could come back and say that there's nothing wrong, and give him a clean chit, and he survives. But one thing is clear, if this happens, this will be, first of all, it's only the third time in the House's 234 history that a motion to, oust a speaker has been brought, Neha. And in the most recent incident that happened was in 2015, when there was a proposal to oust John Boehner as the House Speaker, but he resigned before he could be ousted. So now in this case, it remains to be seen which way, the chips fall. But it's safe to say that he may scrape through with the support of Democrats, because had it been a normal situation where his own party has given up on him and then he needs the support of Democrats, it would have been very hard. But in this case, the Democrats may support him to make a point against the Republicans, and also to own his loyalty, and the message that Democrats would be sending him is that we saved your skin and you don't forget that. So we'll call that check in whenever we feel like it. So it could be a strategic win for Democrats if they help McCarthy survive, Neha.
Politics is fascinating, isn't it, Shri? The game or the art of the possible, as they say. Who knows, in this situation, the Democrats could very well strike a deal with McCarthy and save his skin, and in the process, extract some important concessions from him. And of course, that would mean they end up voting for the man they love to hate.